We can start with the Dungeons and Dragons.
Maybe.
If people stop leaving, decide to make your way back to the Dawn Racer, only to find him, his one clone that survived, and a strange-looking monkey. Creating this ritual on the deck, killing 4 of your crew members. You guys were able to kill one clone and attack the monkey, but unable to stop the ritual from happening. Once the ritual was complete, a giant demon cat vampire thing popped out of the Dawn Razor, and you had a fight and
One.
won, surprisingly. After killing the main body of Rengar again, he popped over to the clone that Lunk was watching over. Luckily. Capturing him, you're wondering where Triana is, only to find that she brings up 30 other prisoners from below the castle and saying that she found them and they needed help. Discussing what to do with these prisoners and
Okay, I'm back and it's been by 5 minutes. So back to workroom.
Hush.
and dealing with the giant that you guys have released from the prison. And that's where we pick up today.
Didn't a certain someone also stick her hand in a certain gauntlet and began screaming? I think that's how
Yes, I got distracted.
what ended last time.
Again. Yes.
That's
As
not
we're
it.
ending, and thought it would be kind of interesting to stick her arm into the gauntlet that Rengar had on his main body. Not realizing it is crushing her hand and forming to it, destroying her other gloves and her very, very nice new flaming greatsword.
Longsword.
Longsword. So, 7 Dawns. What do you do?
Ba-ba-ba-ba. Is the screaming active, or was it just like an ow kind of thing, or is it ongoing?
Oh no, when she puts it on and the whole crushing begins, she's gonna just like buckle over, like on her knees, forehead like against the deck, and she's gonna just like pounding the deck with her other hand as everything's getting crushed.
Ari's just gonna look up at the ceiling, kind of going, "What the hell
Oh,
is
yeah.
going on?"
Gonna run over to Anna and see what's going on. Why is she in pain?
I'll do the same.
The crushing sound as their metal parts are being, you know, those videos where like the press.
The hydraulic press.
Yeah, that.
Oh, good.
That must be feeling wonderful. No.
There's Anna bits everywhere.
Yeah. So, okay. Oh, sorry, I got to try to get in the zone so I can RP this correctly.
I don't want to scream because
Please do not blow out our eardrums. That would be wonderful.
Do it.
Dead.
All right, let's see. When Sven and Gare Bear are at Anna, we recognize that golden gauntlet on her hand, right?
Do you ever like your hand underneath your head since your head's?
Oh no, the hand that's getting crushed is like laying off on the side as everything's getting crushed to bits, and her regular hand's just like pounding the deck.
Oh yeah, you guys recognize the golden gauntlet.
Anna, what did you do?
Never get it right.
Like,
what did you do, and why did you think it was a good idea?
Gonna kneel in front of her because her head is in her deck. Grab her shoulders and like lift her up. And as I do, I'm also gonna say, "What's happening?"
That's a crushing begins to stop. She's just gonna like glare up at you, and then look down at her hand. To kind of like flex the fingers on the gauntlet.
No, it moves like a regular hand, it feels weird because you're used to your oversized hands. This is a normal size hand now. Even with
Hmm.
gum. But it functions like a normal hand would.
She just, after the crushing subsides, she glares up at Gareth, looks at her hand. She kind of like leans herself back and like sitting on her knees,
Mhm.
kind of like holding the crushed hand with her other hand as she just like continues flexing it and rolling the wrist around.
It's not as flexible as your wrist was, but
Well, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I wasn't expecting it to do that.
Will you be all right?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe is very reassuring.
Well, I mean, I can move it, so it's my hand. I just don't know the extent of the damage.
Why did you put that thing on? How did you even grab it? The Ragnar fell into the mass of tentacles.
I grabbed it off him before he fell.
Why did you stick your hand in it?
Well, I mean, he was using it, and it seemed to be pretty powerful, so don't you think that we need it more than a corpse?
But you didn't think to check it before you put it on?
Well, I mean, I did check it. I guess just not as thoroughly as I guess I should have.
What do you mean you checked it over? What did you do? Did you just look at it?
Well, I kind of recalled what happened to Ragnar, the things he was doing. I checked inside to see if there was anything that would, eat my hand, but I guess I missed that part of it.
You didn't think it would crush your hand or anything. You have a fairly large hand. You know that, right?
Well, I can adjust the size of them, so I mean that doesn't really, you know.
By that crushing sound, it didn't sound like it was very nice.
Well, it really, really wasn't.
Why did you just put the glove on instead of waiting and talking with the rest of us? We don't know what that thing is.
I mean, apparently it's not that bad because I'm still sane. Well, as sane as normal. As normal can be.
Out of game, thank you for filling that pause. In game, Gareth is going to stand up, offer
Him?
Anna, shut up, offer his left hand out to Anna's left hand, offer, gesture of you need help up.
And she'll take it. She's like the gold gauntlet arm. It's kind of just like braced against her abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
She just kind of pulls herself up with your hand.
DM, are we on the boat right now?
Yes, you're on the Dawn Razor.
Okay. I'm going to gesture to the hatch and suggest, Anna, maybe you should go take a rest. We will finish up here.
Yeah. That might be a good idea. And she's going to just slowly make her way like to the hatch and to the lower deck.
Mm-hmm. In the meantime, what's everyone else doing? Janice?
I'm passed the fuck out, remember?
Oh yeah, you got brought to your room by Gareth.
Oh, yeah. I remember that now. I thought, how did you get there? Oh, yeah.
Ari, I'm guessing you're with the prisoner.
Yeah.
Okay. Speen?
I was helping Anna. And
Mhm.
them.
You and Gareth on the deck, you still have that blood circle. Um, in the center of the deck with the 4 bodies.
I must smear the circle so then nothing else can happen.
Okay, you smear the circle, and whatever magic will release in there is now gone.
At least that won't be creating anything else.
What is about our boats getting attacked?
Because it's a boat.
Hey, DM.
Hmm.
Were there other crew on the ship?
There are a crew and they're below deck.
I'm gonna go check on them.
You check on them and they're surprised. Some madman just took 4 of our crew members. We heard a bunch of noise upstairs and we heard now just this crushing sound. Is everything okay?
The 4 that were taken were executed. Otherwise, the one who did it we have captured and in the brig. Otherwise, it's mission accomplished here at the castle. But we'll bury those 4 at sea once we take off.
Okay, well, Garrus can be in charge. Can you just give like a nice, you know, barrel at sea speech?
Oh,
And I'll game it. No, you don't have to say it.
oh, thank. Okay, just yep. I'm
It's
just
like,
gonna.
become.
I'm just gonna nod. I'm just gonna nod and walk through the rest of them, make sure the rest of them are okay, not just the 3 I talked to.
They're uninjured. They just seem all riled up.
Yep, I'm gonna talk with them and calm them down. I'm buying time so I can write the thing.
Is that a hint that other people need to join in on something?
Yeah, DM, switch to someone else.
Anna, you get to your room. You go lay down, and then you notice, what's your past perception, that there's someone else in your room.
Doesn't deploy the blade she does have and can point it in that direction.
Then you see someone step out of the shadows, and it's interesting. This being is tall and lanky, like an elf, but built like more like a human, but was like stocky, kind of more like a dwarf, with a dwarven long beard and pure white eyes.
What are you doing in here?
Hmm?
That's this person. What they're doing in here?
Well, I'm here to talk to my new associate.
Associate with what?
Points to your glove hand.
How do you know about this?
I built it.
Did you talk to, Ragnar?
No. That mortal. But just merely another pawn in my scheme. Probably not a good one.
Well, it doesn't really help your case here because now you're just going to make it sound like I'm another one.
Oh, but you are.
See, I don't really like the sound of that.
Well, whether you like it or not, you are. I hear you have a thing against gods.
A few.
And he walks around the room just a little bit, just kind of.
She's just going to, keep the same, keep the blade pointed at him and keep at least a blade, an extra blade extended between him and her at minimum.
Oh, he doesn't approach you.
Well, no, but as he's moving, she's gonna follow him with it. So if he does try anything,
He has both his hands behind his back and just kind of always has his eyes on you.
mm-hmm.
But he's pacing right now.
Is there anything like you actually need, or are you just here to pest me right now?
Well, I need the gods removed.
Just that's it, just gone.
Well, they interrupt my party, I guess you can say.
And what party would that be?
Chaos.
You know, there's like 3 other planes that you can go to and have your fun down there with.
Well, guess you can say I had my fun with those planes. I'm bored of them now.
So make another one.
No. This one is so much more interesting.
See, as much as I do want to agree with you on this whole chaos thing, because it does sound intriguing, I kind of need this plane to not be, you know, hell. I still have things I need to take care of.
Mm, that's unfortunate.
No, to say that I won't help you assist with the removal of the gods and you can go tear in their plane. I mean, I'd be more than happy to help you with that problem. But I need this plane intact for a little while longer.
Well, don't worry. I'll keep it alive for your mortal life.
Say that one more time.
I'll keep this plane as it is for your mortal life. If hmm, if I choose to.
Sounds like you're just going to remove me out of the equation if
Oh, I am very limited on my power right now, so I need an agent. I can't just what's the word? Killing off my agents.
see, that's where this whole thing comes back again because I was an agent for somebody else and now they're on a hit list. So,
Oh, I've been on so many hit lists for such a long time. One more won't bother me.
well, it's not. Anyway, so outside of your vague, open ended requests, is there anything particularly like interesting? Or
Hmm.
just kill gods and move on?
No, no. I do have more interesting plans, but I'll talk about it more with you when my toy is at full power.
And she's gonna like lift the hand. Like, you talking about this?
Yeah, you look at the gauntlet. There are 5 empty slots.
Well, yeah, she saw that before.
Mhm.
Be like, so where? Like, why don't you just have these others, these gems put in this?
Because I don't know where they're at. I am not all seeing like the gods claim.
But I don't even know you, so I can't really say for certain what it is
Hmm.
they claim.
Oh, I should introduce myself then. I am Angshibi, one of the primary forces of the Cosmos. Cosmer?
Cosmos.
Your,
Cosmos?
your common language is just so. Hmm, gosh, I don't really know what the word is. small-minded.
So you're just this existing energy. You can't just like taint some kind of Daedrical essence and let it go from there.
Hmm. Guess you can say that.
Well, listen, as much as I would love to be able to go to the upper planes and rip and tear as much as my heart would let me, I have a few other things going on. So if you need to wait to communicate your grandiose plan until this thing has all of its rocks put back into it, then I can't really say for certain that all of the plans that you have laid out are going to be followed. I can't just run on vague descriptions and open-ended details.
Hmm. Very well. I will let you run around for a bit. But if you get too off course, I know how I'll find you. And he's gone.
You're just going to do like a quick check of the room. Just making sure there's nothing suspicious laying around, and then go get back to her bed.
Okay. You pass out pretty quickly, and surprisingly.
I am Sleepy Robo Grill.
Okay. Ari, Triana comes up to you, and as you watch over Rengar. Well, that was a bloody battle.
Mm-hmm.
So how you doing?
I mean, for, passing out, not too bad.
Yeah, you kind of look like shit.
Yeah, basically.
So, anything to report? This guy won't be telling anyone where he's going.
Um, Nothing really noteworthy, I don't think.
Have you noticed the way Anna's been, or your friend Anna, been stalking around?
She's been like that since I got here. I don't know if there's anything to it or not.
Just keep an eye on her.
Of
If
course.
anything's too fishy, you report it immediately.
Obviously.
Well, you get some rest. You look like you need a watch over him.
Okay.
Okay. Wasn't a few hours. Everyone taking it easy. The crew eventually cleans up the blood mess and piles the corpses of the 4 crew members onto.
They're in force. They're in 4 small but weighted caskets.
Mm,
Currently somewhere in the hold. There's a big, because we don't have super many of them. There's a big flag of Ship's Haven draped across them all.
sounds good.
I've told you I'm working on the script for this. And yes, I am stealing speeches. I mean, borrowing.
Plagiarism's not a thing right now.
What's plagiarism? Never met her.
I'll give credit where it's due.
No, it doesn't matter.
All right, and keep going. I'm working.
Within a few hours, there are a small, I'll say 5 ships of Gen 1 airships come by and pick up whatever prisoners that they were. Um, After those prisoners were picked up, two Gen 2 of the later gens come by with a giant net. They pick up the giant, and after some talking to her and where she's going, speaking in giant for her, they bring her to uh, carry her in the net and drag her in the direction that she pointed to.
We wave as she leaves.
She waves back.
Oh crap! No one asked her name, did we?
Nope. We couldn't even
Okay.
understand her if we tried.
Yeah, but then they got the arbiters brought that translator, so we could have had a name for someone in that region in case we ever have to go there. Dang it!
Well, that's all of the prisoners, so I think we should work on going. Fly low to the water so that way then we can do them an honor, looking at the caskets.
Are you familiar with burials at sea?
I frankly have never been around sea a huge ton.
I'd imagine automaton and water not always the best of friends.
I mean, it's not the fact that we're not the best of friends, it's just the fact that I lived in a different area completely opposite of an ocean.
The
And
desert?
fact that I sink.
Shush.
Yes, a desert. The ethereal desert.
Yes, you have all your memories back now, don't you? So
Yes.
I suppose you remember all that time there.
Yes.
You'll have to tell us all about it sometime.
Oh, there's a couple things I wish to keep secret.
That's not suspicious at all.
Every lady has her secrets, do they not?
I don't know. I mean, I guess Emily won't talk about where she's from, and she doesn't want me to, so, there's that. Anna has that sister, and now she's on I don't even know what she's on, but she also stuck her hand in that gauntlet from Doom, so that's pretty cool. Ari is just a mysterious person. I guess you have this. And Janice has whatever that is going on with her. So, hey, it's actually probably a good thing that she was already sleeping and didn't see Anna's hand get crushed. So,
Out of game, I'm not that mysterious, I promise.
In
I know,
game
but-
she is.
I know, but also out of game. Like, oh yeah, I suppose you did bring Gareth down to the Arbiter Library, so touche. Is that all the characters? I think that's all the characters.
All the female ones.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Although, I'm hoping to go back to the sort of lifestyle I had once before.
The mysterious one?
No. My lifestyle in 300 years ago. Working for a nobility, although I don't want to be working for a nobility.
You just said you wanted to go back to that lifestyle.
I want
So-
to be nobility.
Okay. I don't know how you go about doing that, but gives a weak smile and like a thumbs up and in the "you go girl" gesture.
And I have the perfect location that I want. With someone waiting there for me, too.
Wooey wooey. That was in game, by the way.
Maybe one day you'll meet him.
Can't wait. You can tell that this is very awkward for Gareth, and this is not the conversations that he usually has.
So,
I
once we deal with whatever is going on with your family,
What?
What do you want?
Oh, Feather? I don't know. He'll be dead, and I'll go back to doing my thing at Chip's Haven. That's the long and the short of it. That's my plan.
But there's no hopes or goals?
It's always nice to get promoted. There's better benefits in old age.
True.
He continues shifting uncomfortably.
Mm.
Then
Well-
he. Oh, yep.
Well, we should get some rest. We've had a very long day.
I'm going to polish this uniform, get it ready for the service. And he's going to wave, like, again, weirdly, while holding his helmet in his hand, and just say, "Night. Well, see you later."
She gives a pleasant nod. Well, I'll see you, hopefully, when the sun rises. I'm guessing the sun is down.
Yeah,
Or
it's,
getting
it's
close.
it's down by now, and I'm guessing you guys want to spend the night at this clean-out castle and then head out in the morning.
That works.
Or at least in the ship. Yeah, whatever. By the way, we should have the ship image up, shouldn't we?
I suppose.
Wow, way to be bossy. Poor DM.
You're welcome.
I gotta clean up this one. Jeez. Making me do more work.
Now DM, get good.
Okay. I forgot what I was gonna say.
How many sailors are there on the boat? It matters.
And now there's 9 crew members.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. It's not well staffed right now.
Yeah, maybe because of DM. I mean, things keep killing them.
Gotta challenge you guys somehow. It's below functioning staff right now.
Oh, good.
So yeah.
So about, DM, about what time of night is it?
The sun just set, so it's about 8 o'clock.
Okay. I'm going to polish my armor for like 42 minutes.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to leave the cabin, go below deck.
Mhm.
In.
As you go below deck, you do see the carpenters stuff fixing the deck, because there's parts of it that are crushed, and there's little craters where the demon's footsteps were.
Mhm.
So they're working hard repairing the ship and washing the blood off. And they nod, and give you a small salute while you walk by.
I will small salute them back and suggest that no. I'm just going to let them keep doing what their thing, because we want the boat to look nice for the service tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nope. To Jana's room. Janice. Names are hard.
You go to Janice's room, and Janice, you're still sleeping.
I am still passed the fuck out.
I'm going to knock quietly to see if she's not sleeping.
I am sleeping.
A little bit louder now. All right. Well, acknowledging that Janice must still be a sleepy little person, going to walk over to Anna's room and do the same.
Anna, are you sleeping?
So Gareth knocks on the door. So when Gareth knocks, Anna's still sitting on the bed, but like through the door you can hear a bunch of like clanking, metallic clanking. And then the door opens up and it's just like you see her tail just kind of like retract back.
Oh, so you must be. Are you feeling okay?
She's just sitting cross-legged on the bed. Still, the hand that was not crushed is in a smaller state to kind of match the golden one, and she's just
Sure.
kind of same thing, rolling the wrist and flexing the fingers. It still wasn't a pleasant experience, so she's just kind of trying to get used to the change.
Sorry, out of game. I need to laugh for a second. Puberty hits us all, kid. Anyway, in game. So, just getting used to the new Gauntlet of Doom, then?
I mean, I wouldn't say doom, but
Well,
I guess that's what you want to call it.
well, I don't know if it has a real name, but I think Gauntlet of Doom works pretty well because it was on the head. What's the person? The ringleader. There we go. No, the circus master. Whatever. He's on the leader of this freak show facility we just went through.
Just because a bad person does it doesn't mean it makes it a bad entity.
You see Gareth patting his assorted weapons and nodding and kind of chuckling. Fair point.
It's the person wielding the weapon makes it whether it's good or bad.
True, but some things in this world, just gestures outward, sometimes they're just bad to begin with. That's all. All right, I just wanted to
Before you go,
just checking on you and everyone. Oh,
did Gareth step into the room or just
no, he was proverbially poking his head inside the door.
She's
That's
gonna
all.
motion for him. Be like, can you step in here for a minute?
Oh, what's up? What do you need?
Can you step in for a minute?
Steps in, closes door, but kind of keeps it like cockeyed, so if need be, he can leap out.
I know you may not agree with most of what I do. I mean, I can understand why, given who you are. But as much as a eyesore as I might be for the party, and as much conflict as I might cause for the party, in a way, I do have your best interest in mind.
You see Gareth slowly nodding. Out of game, is there more?
Yeah, she's just
that sentence?
looking down. Well, she's in thought. Give her a minute.
Okay, no, I'm trying to decide if Gareth can figure out if this is the time to comment or to reply. That's all.
He can reply whenever he wants.
All right. Well, then in that case, after his nod, he's going to say, okay, he's not going to stutter, but he's going to say, Anna, you're not an eyesore. I mean, Monk is, but just don't worry about that. Besides, now you got bling gestures to the gauntlet, and I hear that's nice?
It depends, I guess. We'll just have to see how it goes.
If you're worried about the gauntlet, I'm sure we can get rid of it somehow.
I'm not concerned about it. If anything, I think this will help me with some goals I have.
You see one of his eyebrows arch. And what goals may that be?
Nothing that would impede or disrupt any operations we have here. Just some personal demons I have to deal with.
You see Gareth stifling a small chuckle. because that was a very punny sentence, and he recognizes that.
But I know being a devil, you probably don't like that aspect of me, I guess. And I know asking this is a long shot, and you probably are going to say no. And she's in like using her good hand. Send it. A memento. She's gonna pull that out. And this will just like float and rotate in her hand.
What is that?
Being a devil is just part of what I do. So I'm just gonna be blatant about it. Not just you, but the whole party. There's things that are gonna be happening soon, and I need all the help I can get.
What?
This
Okay, continue.
this is more a solidification of the deal. If you take this, I'll do whatever I can or continue doing what I can to further the end goal of the Seven Dawns, whatever that might be in your head. But in the future, I may need to call on you for a favor. And taking this means that when I call in said favor, you do it.
What kind of favor are we talking about here?
It depends on the circumstance and the situation and what's going on. What I can assure you is that it's not going to be anything that goes against you or your family.
Everything you just I 100% believe everything you just said. I mean, not that you're out of game, just checking. All right, in game. I understand, but what kind of things would be happening then, barring everything you just excluded?
If
Unless
we
you
found,
don't know?
if it's hard to say. I leave it open ended because I do not want it to be along the lines of one particular idea. If that makes sense to you.
You see him kind of raise a hand in like a thinking gesture and say, would this involve, whatever favor this is, would it involve getting more people sent to the Nine Hells? Or furthering causes down there?
It depends. I guess since they were part of your crew, it's pertinent that you have that knowledge. Due to
Raise his eyebrow.
those who have agreed to certain contracts, the souls of the members of your crew that have died belong to me.
You see him stand up, not in an aggressive stance, but just kind of a, this is, attitude. And he looks at you intently and says, what do you mean by that?
That's just part of the contract.
And what does your owning the souls of my crew entail?
It depends on what I choose to do with said soul. They could free it and let it sail through the different planes until it finds the place where it rightfully resides. I could feed it to the war machines in Avernus to continue fighting off the demons that challenged us there. I could give it back to the family of said person, and they could use it to resurrect said individual.
You see Gareth kind of look off to the side, and if this were a show from the 60s, you'd see some smoke coming out of his ears because he's trying to contemplate what you just said. Then he kind of bites his tongue a little bit, and then he slowly says, "So, you've made a deals with one or more of the other party members that whoever dies within the confines of this ship, you own the soul of."
Not just the ship, any course of action.
That we take?
Or don't take.
Okay, so just so I get this straight, so you get souls from people that through us in one form or another die, which
Yeah.
in the case of the crew would mean we brought them here on the ship, and because of that they're dead.
Yes.
Or you own them. I would ask that what do you need them for? Why are you collecting these things?
Being the devil, the soul is one of the most important currencies in hell. Gold doesn't suffice. That's why when the smith was willing to make your masks, it was a choice between your monetary belonging or your soul.
You just said gold doesn't affect anything down there, so why would he take the gold that we gave him?
Because he deals with other mortals, which normally request something: riches, fame. You give said individual that gold, and in turn they give you their soul.
So how come these crew that had nothing to do with any of this other than being assigned by my government to this ship, why should they have to? It sounds like not necessarily suffer, but likely suffer for absolutely nothing that they've done. They made no such deal, unless
To them,
did they?
to them, they are not. They don't suffer. They are simply, I guess you could say, stuck in time. When people get sent to hell this way, they get their souls turned into what we call soul coins. Until we decide to spend said soul coin on either a trade, feeding a machine, or a resurrection, they have no contemplation on what's going on around them. So if your concern is for suffering, they don't have any.
Until you slot them into the coin machine that is some devil gear on a Varnus. Is that correct?
If it comes down to it. Currently, they're sitting in a bank, which means that for the time being, they are going to be in that continued state of stasis.
As Anna's going over all this, what's her body language like?
She's still sitting cross-legged. She's not really making eye contact. Like she looked at you when she brought out the dagger, But since then, she's just kind of stayed looking down at the golden hand and like glancing up every now and then, just kind of getting a read on his facial expressions.
Okay. Um. So, after a little pause, he continues. So, why are you doing this? To become rich down there?
Rich, no. The thing you got to understand too with souls is that on the material plane, if I take that coin of the ship member to their family and say, "Hey, do you want them back? Here's this, but you have to give me a favor."
Do you intend on using these coins for leverage against other people?
Depending on the circumstances. The thing you have to understand, Gareth, is I may be a devil, but my end goals don't exactly tie into the goals of the other devils. Yes, I want more power. And I've gotten that to a degree. Is it through souls? No. Is having the souls nice for bartering or making deals and such? Sure. But the souls themselves are just a side bonus to that.
Why do you why do you need to collect these coins if there's a bank down there that you could just dig into, steal everyone else's, the people who chose to make these deals? Why
Because
why
those
why are you
belong.
making deals with us to take those from people who had nothing to do with this?
I guess, realistically speaking, that's not my responsibility to be answering that question.
He gives you a light glare,
I simply gave the
like I'm
option.
not buying this. Okay.
I simply gave the option. What? Oh, thank you. For the deals that were made. I didn't force anyone. It's not my fault they don't read the fine print.
You made deals with these four crew. These four crew promised themselves to you, or through someone else's deal, did you get them?
There's someone else's.
Anna, that's not right. I'm sorry. I know you're trying to get your sister back, but you can't. You can't bring these sailors into it. They had nothing to do with it. You know, if they signed something themselves, sure, that's on them. That was their decision.
So would you rather their souls just be sailing through the different planes until someone just happen upon it and then they don't get that choice? I mean, in my thinking, this is a better fate than what most of them probably would have ended up having to begin with.
Out of game DM.
Hmm.
What normally happens with like your average Joe soul in this universe? What's
Depends.
commonly believed?
It depends if your favorite god. If your favorite god, they go to that god's realm.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a generally good soul without a favor towards a divine being, they could go to the beast plains or Valhalla.
Could.
Could if
So
it's
do they? Do the soul? Does the soul like have to fight its way there?
it kind of have to go upstream on the river Styx.
Ah, okay.
So it is a fight, but it's not a winnable one.
It's okay.
The evil
So,
soul go downward on the river Styx.
oh right. Okay, so the souls kind of figured themselves out while sitting in purgatory with their little water wings. If I'm getting that right.
Basically.
All right, just checking, because that will impact what I said next. Assuming that's general knowledge, correct?
That is the rough understanding of it.
Okay. All right, so back to game. Anna Gareth is going to kind of continue with this same tone of body language he's been having and say if they'll wind up wherever they're meant to wind up. If it's their choice to make a deal and go with you, become a coin for some perverted slot machine, that's their choice. But otherwise, they should go where they're meant to go, I think.
So the chance of just being destroyed outright.
They're you see Gareth kind of like wiggle his hands like over his head, kind of in a not a mind blow gesture, but a confused "this is above me" kind of gesture. And then he eventually stops and says, "That's for the clerics to decide. I don't know. I haven't been there. I don't know what happens."
The priests don't get to decide that. The only thing that gets to decide the only things that get to decide where they go is sure if they believed in some divine power. Or if they didn't, then they have to go up the river Styx, which is not a guaranteed route.
And
Would you agree that having the soul just in a stasis state, unknown of its surroundings, environment, and situation, would be more peaceful for it, rather than fighting in the afterlife?
can people like you just take a net and sit at the Styx River and just collect souls?
But how would that?
Or do they eventually wind up wherever they're supposed to wind up?
But how would me just taking random souls from Styx be any better than what has happened? Sure, it's not these people.
That wasn't my question.
People.
My question, if you're asking if the Styx is worse than literally not knowing, thinking, or being anything indefinitely, I call that death. That is death. To know nothing, to not exist, basically.
But wouldn't it be such a joy to have an understanding that if and when you come back to life after being resurrected, that sure you died, but now your family has you back again?
But where does that line get drawn? When can you say, nope, I'm not going to cash this in anymore. I'm not going to come back anymore. Where does that line get drawn if this is something that you keep playing with?
Where that line gets drawn is by the person who wields said soul. In all honesty, where they reside now, they're, in my opinion, safer than anywhere else they would have gone.
If they end up in Styx, they'll go where they're meant to go. And they won't be sleeping in your bank vault somewhere.
As true as that might be, but I think the thing you're misunderstanding is who it is that possesses these coins. I'm not just some generic power-starved devil. I have more use for these coins rather than just putting them into slot machines and seeing if I win.
Out of game, we don't even know what slot machines are, but that was my mistake.
Well,
In game.
there are gambling machines.
Oh, okay.
But slot machines, it's really just
Roll the dice. There we go. Roll the dice.
Basically. No, but that doesn't fit my analogy. Yeah, okay.
But no, you do have slot machines because it's all mechanical.
Roll the
I'm
dice.
There are
Just
slot
go with
machines.
that.
I'm picturing a big steampunk slot machine.
It's essentially that.
Oh. Anna, what was the last thing you said? Out of game still?
Pretty much the gist of just like her owning the souls isn't the worst thing that could have happened to them.
Oh, yes, that's what it is. Right, so back in game then, Gareth is going to say, because you're a benevolent being. And then he realizes that he didn't quite mean to use that tone. And so he puts his hand out in a hold on there gesture and says, okay, I know you're not bad, but you said that these coins could be traded for something later. So who's that means you're still giving away these people who had nothing to do with anything
He
for
says I'm trading them to other devils,
what else would you be trading them for?
taking them back to their families in turn for other benefits.
To get more. You're keeping them to invest and to con other people out of whatever you want from them.
I mean, it could be as simple as, hey, do you want your son back? Here he is. I want free lodging at your house anytime I'm in this region.
That's a
You want your
sick
daughter
choice.
back?
That's sick.
They get their family back, Gareth. That's more than most people can say.
You're using. You might as well just kidnap them while they're alive and ask the same thing. No family. Okay, few families. Gareth rubs his neck. Few families are going to say, "No, we don't want Jib Bob back because he was a dick." No, you're manipulating people. That's
If you
not
went
right.
to these sailors' helms right now and said, I'm sorry, your son was murdered by a psychopath, there's nothing we could do, and that was the end of it. And then sometime later, someone came by and be like, hey, I heard your son died. Did you want them back? You really don't think those people would want him back?
Of course they would. That's how you're manipulating them.
That's right.
Anything you say, they'll do so they can get that person back. That is manipulation.
But how do you know that it's for a negative end goal on their end?
You don't ask for something from someone for their benefit.
I mean, it very well could be.
And yeah, it could be
That's-
nothing as a cup of sugar, but you're still manipulating them.
That's just the way it is, Gareth.
So if
They could have been stuck to a worse entity.
or they could have gone where they were supposed to go, wherever that is, which is decided by their own choosing, by the way they lived. No?
As fair as that might be, Gareth, this is the way it is.
This is the way it is. That's not right. And I can't take that dagger. I'm sorry. I know you are good somewhere in there, but this isn't right.
Is that what you want? You want them back?
They should raises his hands again. They should go where they're meant to go.
Or why not just bring them back?
You see him kind of think about that and like the implications of this. You hear mutterings. What?
I do know it is not common knowledge, but you've been around.
Mm-hmm.
People who got brought back from the dead don't tend to have everything there.
Oh, good. All right. Well, that made this easier. Thank you, DM, for the knowledge. In that case, he immediately stops rubbing his neck and says, "Those aren't the same people. They come back. They're not. It's not the same person.
So it's
There's something
better just to
wrong.
leave them dead then?
Dead than a perverted ghost of someone you used to know? Yes, I'd say so.
Those people can't be taught how to act again?
If you have to teach someone to act a certain way, they're imitating. It's almost literal art imitating life in that instance. And that's wrong. That's a perversion of the way things are supposed to be. If you could grab Lunk and teach him to act just like me, that's wrong. That's not what he is, and it's not me. How is that okay?
I mean, it could be an improvement.
You see Gareth again stifle a chuckle because he doesn't want to laugh at this point. Thanks. Thanks, Link. Thanks for your Discord.
You're welcome.
Regardless of whether or not that would be an improvement, fine. What if Link goes away and I'm supposed to act just like him? It's still neither of us. It's not me, it's not him. Do you not see that, or do you not care, Anna?
Can I say I don't know? But at the same time, like, this is what I am. I mean, I didn't get a choice to become this. I got stuck this way. It wasn't my choice to become some pawn. Yeah, that's not right. That maybe that doesn't make what I do right. But my end goals, again, are not to be a blight, ideally.
So because something bad happened to you, you're okay doing that same bad thing to others?
I mean, sure, maybe those people can't come back as themselves. Fine. I take their souls and I throw them to the smith and I have them crank out more gears.
More people like you.
Yep. Or are we not good enough?
That's not. You see Gareth rub his face with a, oh my gosh, how are we supposed to talk about this kind of gesture? And puts his hand back down and says, look, I don't know the process that goes into making you or your kind, but it has to be from, in my mind, it has to be from people who agreed to that decision.
But I didn't.
In your case, I know you didn't, but again, just because you didn't agree, that doesn't make it right, and because it's not right doesn't mean you should force that on other people. Because something bad happened to you.
I am only really doing this because down in hell, the people like me are just seen as things. In Avernus, we're sent on the front lines just to be cannon fodder. On the other levels, we're just a workforce or a messenger force. So in the situation I was in, I was just sent off on errands running for someone else. We're not really any better than the common slaves that you find on this plane. But what I'm trying to do with this power is change that. Sure, it's not going to be pleasant for most people that are involved in this situation. But the end goal, the thing that happens later on, justifies that. Maybe not for you, but it justifies it.
So you're dragging as many people, as many coins down there as possible, so you can, what, have your run at the place? Or so you can own all the, what's, just for equality, whatever that means, in hell.
Oh no, not in hell. I plan on bringing my people out of there.
Oh, so you plan on, what, trying to conquer this plane, or a different one?
I don't see conquering as much as integration. The tieflings used to not be a enjoyed party amongst the masses, yet they're
Anna,
all
make a
of it.
history check. See how much history you do know.
Right? Do I have to, DM?
You can.
Hey.
Oh, good, +0.
Okay.
Well,
Garrus, you don't really know much of history. Not really your forte of study.
Funny.
Anna, since you lived 300 years ago,
Mhm.
you don't remember that many tieflings.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is she's just using that as just like generalistics, like they weren't tolerated.
Yeah, they're.
And Garrett doesn't know better, so I can lie to his face, and he can't say otherwise on this. So,
And my insight was trash.
Yeah. Well, you do know that they were prosecuted and they were like were events where they were burning the devil,
Yeah.
witch hunts in a way. But like that's not really a thing. There's literally a legit theory city, biggest one on this continent that you know of. That's
Yeah, and that's the point she's
90%
getting at.
tieflings.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
All right, let's see. Back to the conversation then.
so, I mean, look at them. They have their own. Who's to say that I can't pull my people out of that,
To pull
out
your
of hell, and put them in situations like that where they can thrive, get on with the other races, be guards and shop owners and whatever.
that
Yeah,
is definitely a good goal. It's a noble goal. However, if you have to drag other people down there to help with this, how you're pulling more down to bring a different group up. How is that?
who's to say I can't make them part of that group? The sailors that died here, they can be reconstructed. They can be turned into more of my kind and then be integrated back into society where they don't have to be involved with their family.
They didn't
Their family.
choose that.
None of us chose that, Gareth. But they're going to be better off knowing that they can live their life rather than just being a thing that gets tossed away when it's used up.
Again, that's with you keeping them though, not letting them wind up wherever they're meant to wind up.
I mean, yeah, that those few individuals.
I mean, few. You've seen our party. We are very good killing people.
Well, I mean, the people you kill, I don't really think there's any better what I'm doing than what you're doing. I mean, you're killing them.
Yep,
So what's
and
the
sending them to Styx or wherever they're meant to go.
And most
I'm
of the
not-
people that you kill, could you argue, belong in hell?
Thinks about who all I've killed. That's not. You see him rub his neck again. That's not up for me to decide.
But my point still being is you are robbing them of the choice of living. How is that
That's-
any worse than me?
Those conflicts. The difference is, yeah, I'm ending them and they're winding up where they're meant to go. You're capturing them and putting them in a prison somewhere for use however you want. That's enslavement.
We wouldn't really call it enslavement when they're not being used to further some kind of goal until a single moment.
I call that death, but regardless.
I mean, they're dead anyway.
You're still. So every one of those clones, instead of that's okay, that's a bad example. Every one of those cultists and all those other people that we've waxed, again, okay, let me just put them in the slammer down here, figure out who their families are, and then blackmail them.
Well, I mean, who says I send them back to? I mean, that's more of an option I gave for the sailors because I know they weren't terrible people. But those cultists, who's to say I just don't send them to Avernus to be burned away in some machine that's keeping the demons out?
If they're meant to end up down there, they'll end up down there. That's not for anyone to decide. That's not for us to decide. It's not for me to decide.
But it's not up to you to decide who lives or dies either, Gareth. This argument, you and me are two sides of the same coin. You're just pre-death. I'm post-death.
Out of game.
That was a good
Nice.
one.
Out of game. Nice. Oh. In game. I disagree with that, Anna. I'm sorry. I do. That's not the case. I don't see it that way. So I cannot accept that knife. I'm going to try.
Do I need to adjust the terms to fit your morality?
To what? My morality is if someone's life ends, they go where they're meant to go.
Is that what you want?
I need to do another insight check. Give me a sec. That's the wrong button. How did you mean that? Is that what you want?
But like asking like because she brought up the question of like changing the terms, and she's you're like, I want people to go where they belong, and that's what she's asking. Is that what you want?
But when I kill someone, they just go. They figure out whatever happens to them happens to them. How would adjusting a deal, giving you a coin, be altering that whatsoever? How is there any deal that makes it be natural as opposed to slots in the bank?
Exactly that. I adjust the terms and the clauses and your contract to exclude that.
Meanwhile, everyone else will still get waxed. Okay,
Anyone,
that's not doing a whole lot.
you, Gareth, kill, they go where they belong.
None of the party didn't kill any of those 4 crewmen, and you still got them.
Correct. But again, that's not my fault.
You're asking me to drink out of the ocean and try lower its level. That's not going to work. You see Gareth starting to move toward the door. I'm sorry, Anna. I can't help with this. I appreciate.
Then what would it take?
I appreciate everything you did in the desert and with the party. You seem to be a good person, but this isn't. I can't back this. It doesn't seem right.
Then what would it take?
For me to take that dagger from you?
Is you just holding it in your direction?
If you need help in any kind of way, I will give it to you, unless it involves these deals that you're making with people. If you need help waxing that dick of a Smith down there, got your back. I'm all for it. Sure. But I'm not helping you manipulate other people. I'm sorry, Anna. You're a good person, but I disagree with this.
Is that really it? You just don't like manipulating people?
It's wrong.
Alright. Would you like to make a bet then?
No, I'm not. A bet is just another word for a deal in this instance.
No, this has nothing to do with the soul situation. This is something completely different.
Are you trying to bet me that people are horrible? Because I've seen that, or I've read that book, and it doesn't go well.
I mean, that's just to be expected with people anymore, Gareth.
I'm sorry, it's up for them. How long have you been making deals with us? With the party?
Our first arrival to the desert.
Gareth gets real quiet. How long was it going to be before you tried to make me sign something? Before I could walk again?
It wasn't going to be long. It wasn't going to include the same deals. But that choice was robbed from me too. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Oh,
Hello?
Did my mic work?
Oh,
Yeah,
you like dropped out.
Is this?
Oh, yeah. I had
I
an update pop up. It was like, Mara, did you need to do this? It's like, no, I don't. Back off. I'm in the moment.
A moment.
Anyway, Anna, please repeat what you said last.
Gareth was asked if like she was gonna make a deal that was gonna be give him the ability to walk again and whatnot, and she said along the lines of yes, but it was gonna be different, but that choice was robbed from me too.
So you would have used that in the state I was in. You would have leveraged me so you could get more coins in your bank account.
In your situation, it wouldn't have been for coins, Gareth.
That's still would have been manipulation.
In that instance, no.
This would have. You'd still be dangling the keys in front of my face of, hey, you like your legs? Do this. Admittedly, I probably would have signed. So, my thanks to Janice for getting that fixed. Because I can't support this. I'm sorry. I will help you as a friend and the person who saved my life. I'll help you with everything else, but not collecting people. I don't need that dagger to show up and help you with something. And Garrett's going to make a move for the door.
Anna's just gonna like take the dagger in her hands and just crush it.
As Gareth is walking out the door, I assume he hears the
Yeah,
squish.
the crushing.
Oh, geez. He's going to stop for a second, kind of hand on the door, lower his head a little bit, and say, I'm sorry, Anna. I'll see you tomorrow. And then
She's in,
close the door. Oh.
Yeah. Nope, you shut the door. It's fine.
Okay. In the meantime, as Gareth,
That was intense.
look, you can't find Seal.
Okay.
Anywhere. You look around and you're just like, where is your little blue flying friend?
Okay.
You call her name, but she doesn't show. Eventually, you get tired and go back to your room. You see her sitting, floating in your room about head height and just have her arms crossed and have a pouty face,
Looking at.
looking at you as you walk into the door.
Hey, there you are. I was looking all over for you. You had me worried sick.
She turns, still having a pouty face and having her arms crossed.
Do I have any idea what this is for?
Wait, who's in his room?
His fairy thing.
Oh, I don't know.
My fairy best friend.
That was pretty good.
That was
actually.
great.
You have no clue why she's upset.
I know you can't really speak, but can I help with whatever is upsetting you?
She points to your dagger that you used in the last fight,
Oh dear.
and she pouts again.
Do I... Out of game, I have no idea why she would be upset.
DM, can I give him a hint since I kind of know what you're doing?
Sure.
What was she originally?
Originally, she was a sword.
Remember, don't be dense.
Now
So
she
you're-
pointed at your sword or your dagger, and she's upset. And she was originally a sword.
So, what you're saying is the fairy is pulling the jealousy card. Yeah.
You're welcome, DM.
I thought that was pretty obvious, but you know.
No, not
It's
at
also
all.
coming from the robot who couldn't figure out the stupid axe with the 3 different magical energy things.
Which that's the name of the episode, by the way.
What's the name of it?
That's the name of the episode. It was Divine Nature Arcane.
And just yep. Anyway, back to Lonk with his jealous fairy.
You're upset that I have a dagger?
She turns it back to you and still pouty.
I can get rid of it. I mean, well, you no longer are the sword that I cherished oh so much. So I had to do something. Also, I didn't go out and seek this dagger. It was offered to me, and I just was like, sure, why not? I can just as easily, sell it off or anything.
She's still not looking at you. She still have the arms crossed and all pouty.
Well, if this really makes you upset, should I get rid of it?
She nods.
Then that is what shall be done. I leave the room.
Okay.
Where exactly are we?
You're on the boat on the dock, still at the floating castle.
Okay, then why does the picture show 4 ships?
That's the different layers of the ship.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I was always wondering that too.
Because someone wanted to have the 4 layers of the ship, so I was just fine having the air map up.
This worked well.
Yeah, I'm off at the bottom part where a bed is question mark. Because
Oh, I can see now. The
Alright, I'll be
rooms
right back.
and
Okay.
such. Okay, that makes sense. I'm gonna take a walk for a bit to decide on if I really want to get rid of this dagger.
Okay, you go for
Maybe I can convince Seal later to or try and figure out why she transformed out from a sword. Of course, I'm enjoying something new, and it's making me feel great. And now you want me to get rid of it.
Yep.
You're leaving it up to me. You're not telling me to get rid of it.
I'm not
but
telling you to get rid of it. You just
No.
need to convince Seal that it's a dagger. I'm not telling you to get rid of the dagger.
It's
It's up
just
to you if you want to use it.
Then
or
maybe
not.
I shouldn't have said I will get rid of it. But either way, I would like to take a walk around the ship, kind of dagger in hand,
Mhm.
pointed. Well, not a loose grip on it, but still not like menacing. Walk around with a dagger in my hand.
Yeah, you do see, like, as you walk around, the crew is repairing the ship because it got damaged during the fight. Um, most of the bloodstains were wiped off, washed away, and it's a quiet night on the ship.
Okay. See anything? I don't know. I suppose I shall go back, return to my room.
You return to your room, and on your bed is a beautiful long sword. Not really long sword, but more of a long thin blade with a fancy hilt. and guard. Looks
I
similar
look
to this.
around, and is Seal no longer there?
Seal's no longer there.
I take a moment to look at the sword, look at the dagger.
It gives off a faint blue shim like Seal did.
It takes me a few seconds, but then I realize, oh, she turned back.
It looks completely different from the sword that you did have, but
Oh yeah.
it does look like Seal in a way.
I say to myself, I need to get rid of this dagger. Or maybe keep it. I holding the sword, I try to ask, is Seal, is this you? Are you there?
You don't see the sword move, but you do feel a presence of Seal.
That's it, just a presence.
It's kind
It's
of
a
like
confirmation.
yeah, it's a confirmation. It's more like a familiar weight in your hand. The keys in your pocket. You know, if you don't have the keys in your pocket feels weird.
Out of game, would I have to get rid of the dagger?
Out of game, no.
Okay, so there is a possible solution out of this,
Mhm.
and having both. I suddenly have a feeling of guilt, so I put the dagger away, not on my person, just put it away for the moment being.
Mhm.
And I
Okay, I'm back.
then go to, I hold the sword and I do the thing where I cut myself and get the blood on it, see
Mhm.
if it still.
Yeah, still glows. Um, you cut yourself and the blood goes across the blade, and it blade comes icicles where your blood was.
Okay. Is there anyone on this ship that would know more about magic-based weapons than me? Or rather, would know.
Make an insight check.
Oh shoot, I should probably bring up my.
I should probably bring up my character sheet. Hmm.
Hard to know what my stats are when I can't see my stats.
I'll just make them up.
um,
I'd say this is more of a confirmation on whether there is or is not.
you know that Garrus might know. Janice, she's always informative on stuff, and Ari.
Gareth, I'm kind of nervous to talk to him. Janice, I still do not like her at all. And Ari, I suppose I can go to her.
Yeah, so you're gonna head over to her room.
Yes.
Okay, Ari, you hear a knock at your door.
Gets up and answers the door. Kind of just pulls the door open a little bit. Pokes so I can see face.
You see Lunk.
Unfortunately.
Ari!
Hello.
So I found this sword, rather, I know what it is, but it's different.
In what sense?
Well, see, a while back I had a sword, which then suddenly disappeared, and a spirit appeared. This was this was actually the spirit that I talked to before. You know, the times when you thought I was going crazy and talking to imaginary things.
Okay.
Well, this is the physical form of Seal, my little friend.
The sword form.
Yes, but now it's different.
Ari, make an Arcana check.
Arcana. I know nothing. I'm
thanks.
sorry.
Okay.
That's fun.
You have no clue what he's talking about. It sounds absolutely bonkers right now.
I mean, I'm not really versed in magic weapons. I've seen a few, but nothing even remotely close to what you've got there.
Okay. Are you aware of anyone that can, maybe see more of a magical presence or any charms on such that I can be directed to?
Uh, do I know anybody?
You know a few arbiters that can identify stuff. You know way more like arbiters associated people. They're kind of more like the your go-to identifier street merchant. But yeah, it's kind of this up in the air, determined if you want to tell him that or not.
I mean, I'm not sure how much they've seen as far as magic weapons go. As far as the people I know, um, usually they're more or less looking at other things, I guess. I mean, I can see if they would know anything by chance, but I can't guarantee anything. You'd probably have an easier time potentially looking into some different vendors in a few of the different towns we've been to.
That's all right. I will. I've got to do some more checking myself. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, if nothing else, try using it a few times. See if it does anything.
All right. I will let you get back to your personal time.
Ari nods, closes her door, kind of waves a little bit.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just continue walking around the ship now and just kind of
You
looking.
guys are still at the castle. If you want to explore the castle, and test out your new blade, you can.
I was more or less gonna go into some. I don't know. Get off the ship momentarily. How long do I know that we're staying here for a little bit?
Yeah, everyone else seemed to go to bed. They had a rough day. You were lucky enough to catch the main guard body once he was killed and his soul transferred to the clone.
I was what?
You were lucky enough to catch the clone as it tried running away,
Oh
and
yeah.
everyone else was distracted.
Okay, and that
And
means.
you guys
You
are
did
staying
good,
at
kid.
the castle for the night.
Oh yeah. Okay. What time of day is it now?
It's approaching midnight.
All right. Well, I shall go on land and just practice some swings and just
You
kind of.
swing your sword, and like when you hit like a wall or something, uh, it moves very slightly in your hand to do the most deepest cut. It seems to like somewhat guide you to do the perfect strike.
I'm beginning to feel like the dagger might not even be worth using anymore. If this is so. Seal, are you guiding my slashes? Are you guiding the blade?
You kind of can sense a sense of yes, but it's not in words. It's more like an emotion.
So I get more of a positive feeling in me, or just like a slight happy feeling for a second.
Mhm.
Okay. Good, I can communicate with my sword. I can be even more crazy. No longer am I talking to invisible objects. I am now talking to physical object. Still just as crazy. Oh, and my detect magic is only for detecting the existence of magic, basically.
It can tell you what school it belongs to.
Okay. Well, I have not fully decided to get rid of the dagger yet, but I will just leave it off my person for now.
Mhm.
And I will go back to my door, or go back to my dorm, whatever room, and lay the sword next to my bed as I just kind of sit there.
Okay, it just sits there.
And eventually, sleep for a few hours.
Okay. Everyone gets a good night's sleep. You restore any hit points you lost, any spell slots. You gain any level of if you have a point of exhaustion, you gain a point back. Um, you all wake up in the morning refreshed, feeling new. The ship's repaired, and Triana is a little impatient.
Gareth is going to give in his, which once was already like polished and cleaned armor. It's extra polished and clean now.
Mhm.
He's going to give orders to start getting the ship underway, to head out to sea and to lower like super close to the surface and bring the ship to a halt.
Uh,
Then the
as you're
service will
doing
be
that,
conducted.
you see Triana approach you like, okay, can I get the rest of your 7 dons? And let's talk somewhere private before we set off.
Sven's just gonna start venturing out now
Into the
into the. I'm guessing this is the main deck area that we're
Yeah,
all talking in.
this is the main deck.
Gareth is going to ask Triana. I suppose I'd be up there now. Gareth is going to ask Triana, can this wait until after the service?
Unfortunately, no. We need to know. Well, you need to know where we're heading off to before we set off.
It's going to glare slightly, then just pull out a Rocky Talkie and say into it, 7 Dons, if we could assemble in my cabin, please, promptly. Thank you. Which, according to our map, is this little itty bitty square right here. But in my brain,
I mean, it
it's
could
like
be
this
in
whole
here.
area.
It could be over here.
Not,
This
it's always
seems more like a captain's
back.
quarters than
But-
that over there.
Back,
But
right
it's
below.
always in the rear. I just need to figure out how to draw lines.
Don't worry about it, this map's not accurate.
See, this
Okay.
is what I'm thinking.
Everyone, do you guys go to the captain's quarters?
Bless you.
Well, before going back, when I get up, the first thing I did in the morning was thank Seal for not leaving my side, and apologize for another weapon if it had offended her.
You, again, don't have a sheath for this weapon.
As I will get one.
So
Yeah.
right now, you're just carrying around a naked blade.
Yep.
Scandalous.
Dangerous.
When you come into the cabin, Garrett's going to look at it and mutter something. It's not going to bother to make a joke because I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay. Everyone
Do I
eventually settles.
I want to hear what he muttered.
Oh,
Okay.
dang it.
Roll a
Perception?
check. Yeah, no clue.
Okay.
Thank you,
Do
DM.
I know that he muttered something?
Yes.
You can see his lips move, but you don't understand what he said.
I just take a glance at him. Gareth, what do you do?
Why can't just put that thing away?
Alright, it's fine. Then I look away.
No, you're gonna poke. I don't care. Tirana, what did you call
Okay.
us for?
Aren't we missing one? We seem to be missing one.
Or two?
Yeah.
I mean, Anna and Janice. Those two are missing.
Can someone else please call them up, please?
I'll go find Anna. And I'm gonna go to her presumed room and knock.
Anna.
When you knock, Anna just like opens the door a smidge, but you don't see her face. She's got her mask over her face right now, so you just see like a small glowing set of eyes come from the room.
There's a meeting held in the captain's quarters for the Seven Dawns.
And
We need you there. You're part of the Seven Dawns.
you see her like a small shrug, and she opens the door and just walks off.
And then I'll go off and try and find Janice too.
Okay, Janice, where you're off to?
I'm in my room.
Okay,
Passed
go
out.
to presumably her room.
Sleeping in, freaking teenagers.
Wow,
Drooling.
you slept for a long time, Janice.
And I'm gonna knock again. I'm glad that was audible.
GG.
It was.
Janice?
Silence.
Part of me wants to roll strength to see if I should bust out the door at some point.
Do it.
Do it. Rushing our door on the ship.
Do it. Do it now.
Seeing the
Oh, no.
destruction of doors.
Oh, no.
God, see, just
Jeez, no.
or something.
Please don't break.
We'll see.
Okay, roll a strength check.
1.
It's loud. Loud enough for almost everyone on the floor to hear it. Janice, roll a constitution save.
Oh, jeez.
Is hers at advantage or no?
No.
Just roll.
You are.
Sorry. Wait, but isn't that a fail?
Yeah, she failed. You just passed out.
Okay, can I see if the door is locked?
Janice, is it locked?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna just enter in and rip off all the sheets.
Remember, I was
Just-
carried down.
Yep. She has a blanket on and a superior healing potion on her end table.
Okay, I'm gonna rip the sheet off and try and roll her out of the bed so she goes thunk on the floor.
Okay. Roll a constitution save with advantage. Higher the better.
Oh, Jesus.
Holy fuck, you are tired.
Okay, so that healing potion. It's gonna go right on her face.
That's like 50 gold.
Way more. That's superior healing potion. That is a lot of gold.
Okay.
Water gets poured on your face. You wake up immediately, Jen. As you're covered in healing potion.
Hey, what was that for?
You also now realize you're on the ground too,
What?
not on your comfy bed.
Yep, and your clothes are still bloody as hell, but your wounds are closed.
I'm just gonna glare and grumble as I get up.
And she's just gonna drag her done with her shit sort of style and just drag her to the room.
Okay.
In walks Fiend with Janice being dragged right behind her.
Both of you enter the captain's chambers, and there's the meeting step, and you see Triana has a map pulled out. Okay, now that everyone's here, so the plan is to take Purple Dragonborn captive down to the prison of Mirrors. Our first stop is Dovoro Summit in the Safeguard Mountains. It's about 2 days journey from here to there. About another 2 days from the edge of the mountains to the prison. But we're taking a different ship. This one's way too valuable to lose.
Yes.
While we're at the summit, it's one of the few settlements that are on this side of the desert. So stock up whatever supplies you need, and we gotta keep an eye on the prisoner.
So it sounds like we'll be making rounds keeping watch on him.
Yes.
And it would probably be better if two were watching at a time just because.
He is a very slippery bastard, so yes, we're gonna need 2 on him at all times.
Isn't he hogtied pretty well?
He is hogtied and gagged right now.
But that doesn't mean he can't do other things.
No, if he has any magic that is not verbal, somatic, or component based, we're screwed. He can probably get out of those bindings. Lucky
By the way,
for us,
who's watching him right now?
don't worry, he's hogtied very well.
Didn't. Yep. Okay.
And make sure to knock him out before I came up here for this meeting.
Thumbs up. Continue.
So,
Or was that it?
Captain, I'll point to you, Garrus. What's your plan on? I can direct you to the summit, but I need a plan for getting your crew ready. You're below minimum working staff.
I suggest, since time is of the essence, and we are close to insert port city name here, we go there, we pick up the cheapest sailors that they can find, then we head off.
The problem
You
is,
see, when he says cheapest sailors, you see Gareth kind of do a quick glance over at Anna, and then back to Triana.
Anna still has a mask covering over her face, and she's just, the face is like just towards the floor.
well, we're very close to Wolf Pine right now, and we can probably spend a half a day there at best.
Or, better yet, we head into their prisons, ask for any sailors there, and we take them.
Well,
I'll take care of it.
We're not looking for riffraff.
I have a plan.
All right.
I mean, I might know of someone that might be able to help if they choose to.
Perfect.
All right. Very well. It'll take us about half a day to get to Wolf's Pine, and we probably need all of you as well as your burnt out crew to get us there. So, can I count on all of you?
Oh, you can count on me. I definitely want to go to Wolf Pine at least to visit someone.
Garrett's going to sit back in his chair. Of course you can. Just tell us anything else we need, and we can also restock on supplies while we're picking up others as well.
She nods. Okay, very well. That'll be the plan. Well, I'll return the ship back to you, Garrus.
Now, I have a couple of questions on how we're going to be able to do this with our limited crew. How many does it need minimally to run the ship well enough?
Well, a ship of this caliber, uh, I'll say 15. You guys have 7 here. I can ship in as much where I can.
And there's 9 others. So we
Yes.
have 17. We just barely have enough to keep 2 at watch and 15 running the ship. And that's with no breaks.
Well, we're only traveling for half a day. If we get going, we'll be in Wolf's time by mid-afternoon.
Alright. So, then who will be on watch?
I'll say Ari and I. So we're the most experienced in dealing with his people.
Or should you two be split up? So there's always someone who's knowledgeable watching. Might I suggest one of the 2 people who don't sleep a whole, well, one of the many people who don't sleep a whole lot be assigned with either Triana or Ari while watching the prisoner? Does a hand gesture for the party to comment on this suggestion?
You just hear muffled from Anna. She's like, I guess I can sit with Trisana.
I'll be glad to have you as company. Ari,
She's
you
good.
pick who you're on watch with.
What, do you all find me that intimidating now?
You see Gareth kind of sit back? No. Just pick.
So who all here doesn't need to sleep?
I
Or at
don't.
least not really.
I don't really sleep, so I would be a candidate in that.
I don't sleep much, but
Sure, we'll go with Sphene.
Okay, we'll go in 6-hour shifts, rotating twice a day.
So we'll each do 2. Gotcha.
Yes. All right. Let's get to work as she claps and dismisses all of you.
Are you going first or am I?
I'll go first. Anna?
Anna just turns and walks out of the room.
I'll go begin helping the men on ship with sails and such.
Gareth is going to go over to Janice. How are you today? Are you feeling better?
Uh-huh.
Did the potion help?
What potion?
The healing, the superior healing potion that was on your end table?
I don't remember no potion. I got thrown out of bed and dragged up here.
Oh, so it's likely still there. All right. Well, if you, that's yours.
Tired glare at was it Sphene?
Yes.
Garrus, what's your passive perception? You notice a faint smell of healing potion coming off Janice.
Out of game, creepily leans forward and sniffs hair. Doesn't actually do that. Slightly leans forward. Did you drink it or wipe your face with it?
I didn't do anything with it.
Sphene.
That water splashed on me.
Sphene.
I mean, she's probably already left and on the deck.
Yeah. Sphene's helping the remaining crew set it up for sailing.
Gareth is just going to pop out his Rocky Talkie. Hey, Sphene, you owe me a healing potion, please. Superior.
It was
Please.
either we didn't have her awake at the meeting, or
Those
I
are
splashed it on.
expensive. You could have just... Doesn't matter. Please, I would just like some back. That's all. Thank you. Hangs up.
Fine.
Gareth leaves cabin and begins ordering crew to get the ship out, head it out to sea for a bit, and drop down to basically surface level
Mhm.
and all that jazz.
Okay, you do that, and you start the burial at sea ceremony.
While we're between moving to the castle and getting down to sea level, is there anything anyone would like to do? Just in general?
I'm just gonna sneak into Gareth's room and leave some coins on his bed or something.
How many coins? So I can get it added in before I forget.
How much was the healing potion? Or how much would they approximately be?
Approximately, let me look it up quick.
Sounds like quite a bit.
It's quite a bit. Roughly 1,500 gold.
And you dumped it on her face?
A superior is
Yep.
1,500. 1,500.
Yep.
If I remember correctly,
Yikes.
if I base off my notes.
I didn't think they were that
I
expensive.
don't think they're
Right.
that expensive. I think
That's too late. I already added that amount to my gold. Sorry.
No.
Yes, I did.
Superior healing potions.
they're rare magic items, so I based off the rare price. But I think I lowered it for the fact of this game.
Dang it.
Because
Which-
according to looking on Google's, 450 gold, I think,
That's
or
about right.
450.
yeah,
Well-
let's go with that.
Can we make it around? Can we make it around 500? Okay, fine. 450. Jeez, people make me have to do math.
So that's all the gold she has. So she isn't going to quite do that. She'll give you 350.
What?
She lost 98% of her gold during the ship thing.
Also, you guys haven't collected the gold from the treasure room that you guys found.
Yeah.
What?
I was kind of hoping we would go back to that.
Yeah, that's probably booby trapped, though. Well, if no one says anything, we're leaving. And in fact, we'd probably leave regardless. Because we got bad boys to take care of.
Very true.
What about long time ago?
I don't know. I'm scared.
Okay.
All right.
Anyone
Well,
else wants to do anything before?
the service that I've typed out.
Yes. Yeah, it sounds like a no.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, you see the sailors starting to appear on deck. 6, not even that many. 3 of them per casket managed to lead them all up. They put 3 of the caskets down on the deck, and they put one on a plank assembly that's attached to the railing.
Mhm.
So, the ship colors are lowered at half mast. The ship is hovering just above the water and has come to a complete stop. The crew forms ranks and stand at attention. As I said, one of the 4 caskets is up on a plank with a hinge on the railing. Gareth stands in full dress uniform in front of the ranks of sailors, save the full 4 pallbearers. His armor is pretty glimmering, and he's got his helmet on and all that jazz. The sailors are also done up as best they can. Gareth folds his hands in front of him, takes a deep breath, and begins the little speechifying thing that he found. My comfort will come from the sea. The stillness of calm waves will gently drift by. I will be as one with the sea. When the sun sets on the ocean blue, remember me, as I will always remember you. As the sun rises, go live life as full as can be. Apart, you and me, but be at peace, for I am, you see his jaw kind of clench for a second, free. Gareth salutes, and the crew ranks do likewise. The pallbearers tilt the hinged plank up, and the coffin slides out from underneath the flag. A second passes, and the entirety of those on deck hear a splash. One of the ship's armaments fires. The other 3 coffins are similarly draped and then tilted over the edge. The armament, because I don't remember what the ship has, fires after each splash. The sound of the armament firing echoes briefly off the water. One of the remaining crew bugles a brief sad tune. A minute of silence passes after the bugle finishes. The pallbearers precisely fold the flag of Shipshaven. Gareth slowly lowers his salute, and the crew does likewise. Gareth crackly turns on his heel and marches away from the assembly. The rest of the crew somberly return to their normal activities. Well done. Man, I'm good.
Nailed
That
it.
was nice.
Thank you.
Woo!
Totally stole that speech, but credit where it's due.
So, as the crew go back to their normal activities, with the help of the 7 Dons, you make your way over to Wolfspine. It's a pretty uneventful day. Sun's out nice and bright, and calm waters and clear skies. Is there anything you guys like to do before we get to Wolfspine?
Anna and Tristan are watching what's his bucket, ain't they?
Mhm.
Is
He's
this in
passed
the
out, hog-tied and gag.
yeah? In this part of the ship, is it getting a lot of traffic?
No,
It's pretty secluded overall.
overall, yeah. Most of the crew is up on deck, working very hard in overtime.
Hmm. We'll have a small discussion with Trisana.
Okay. What do you like
So
to say?
during their watch, 'cause I'm assuming it's just like the brig and then like a table and chairs.
Yeah, there's a table and 2 chairs, and then the prisoners hog-tied, attached to the railing, and gagged. And currently
Okay.
unconscious.
So Anna's gonna sit in one of the chairs, presumably Trisana's on the other side,
Mhm.
and Anna just have her good hand, quote unquote, like resting on the table and using the gauntleted hand to make some tweaks to it,
Mhm.
and then eventually just like make a hem noise for Tristana.
Yes. What do you want?
During our fight with him, you got a little bigger than normal.
So do you.
Why is that?
I don't know, I always could do that.
Hmm.
Guess you don't want food.
But I do want food.
So you just get bigger for whatever reason. It's kind of odd for a tiefling.
It's kind of odd for our double gear.
Well, I earned the promotion, so I get that right.
She kind of leans back in her chair and have her feet on the table and just kind of rocked a little bit.
What I'm trying to understand is why someone of your stature has a power like that.
Like I said, it was born that way.
Hmm.
My adopted parents used to find me in my room the size of an elephant, crying.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, rather is.
So are you going to continue being here after we drop this person off?
No, I have other stuff I have to do.
And those other things pertain to what exactly?
That's my business. I don't poke into your personal life.
Well, it's not personal life if it's business.
I have an organization and people to look after. What you're gonna do is after this.
Well, I too have an organization and people to look after. It's just our duties are more than likely a bit different than whatever it is your people do.
Uh, at you said your people. She uh puts her shirt on all fours and leans forward. My people keep beings like him, point to the prisoner, from destroying the world.
You seem to be doing a pretty shit job at it if he's already been out and about causing mayhem.
Well, he has killed 10 of my very best. So I decided to
And
bring a whole group of adventurers this time. And we got
so
him.
10 of your very best, which apparently aren't your best if they lost, were able to do the job of do the job by a ragtag group of adventurers.
They all went at him by themselves. Us, in the organization, like to work by ourselves.
Seems a bit
They were
foolhardy.
already confident in their abilities to take him down, and they pay the price.
I would think that someone of your stature and the position you're in would see the ideal side of keeping your people all together going after a target like this.
We're
It
spread
seems,
our sin right now, and the more I can go off over big organizations on top of them, the less I have going after individuals.
hmm. Still seems a bit foolhardy for your people to assume that on their own they can take on anyone and everyone. I think you might want to take a note from this ragtag group on how to properly operate. It might save you some bodies in the future.
I'll mention that to my superiors.
Be unfortunate if any more of your people had to die, but
Is that a threat?
I mean that's as much of a threat as you want to make it.
It's a
Apparently.
promise.
That was loud. That was awesome. Well done.
Me personally, I don't have issue with you or your organization. As long as you stay in your lane.
Yeah,
Thank you, Monk.
That was loud.
Yeah.
yeah, it was mediocre.
What?
Talking to his wife.
Nothing. Just continue.
Oh.
Oh,
Just on
Well,
a say.
uh, my lane has to do with keeping the people alive.
What people is that exactly?
The people who deserve to be alive.
And who would that be exactly?
She leans back, puts her feet back up on the table, and just rocks. Doesn't reply.
Because it seems a bit presumptuous of you and your organization to be able to sit there and deem who lives and who dies.
Seems very presumptuous of you to assume that. Hmm, no,
I mean,
no,
that's what
never
you just
mind.
said. I'm just taking what off of you said. You say you protect the people vaguely against others, and you see that those other people are dealt with so that the good people vaguely are safe. Is that to say that those good people that you're saving today are the same people that you gotta kill tomorrow because now they're not any good people?
She keeps rocking with her feet up.
Rather than looking at a group or individuals and deeming them by your understanding of right or wrong, you should look at the whole. Whether it's that society, that country, the continent, whatever it is, before you just assume what's evil.
What's evil is what the Mad Titan did 1,000 years ago. What's evil is what Savara did 300 years ago. We're trying to prevent those events from happening again.
And then who is it then that you're the people that you're trying to protect against the others? Or is it again continuing to be that vague phrase?
We're trying to protect the citizens from another Tarask.
Is that for all countries? Only a few specified countries? One local government or reigning monarch? Who does it pertain to?
We try to, no, we do our job without borders. Have you heard of the screenplay, um, The Last Air Monk?
oh my god, that was rough. Keep going. Sorry.
I can't say I have.
Okay. There's a group in that screenplay calling themselves the White Lotus. We're kind of like that.
So as long as individuals don't cause insane,
Individuals could bring on our Tarask.
they
We'd like to
could.
prevent that. This guy was trying to create a being as strong as it. We just found that out recently.
So outside of those parameters of world-ending destruction and gigantic beasts, you should have no interference with the activities of other entities, correct?
Depends on what that entity is trying to do. Bringing a small army from the abyss? That's something we try to take care of.
Well, you'd be well off knowing that plenty of my people have died to make sure that it doesn't happen. So,
Well, good. I have heritage in fiends as well, so don't get too philosophy on me.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Because I don't need your organization. And we don't need it here either. Because apparently, us little nobodies can handle this big guy where your organization failed.
We sent the wrong people to do the wrong task. Failure does happen. It all depends on how you react to failure.
As sure as that may be, this isn't a win for your organization.
No, this is not. This is embarrassing. But we're going to deal with it, and we're going to get better. Or else, how do we improve?
You can think of a few ways.
Now, if we keep talking, we're let the prisoner escape because we just keep flapping our lips.
I mean,
So-
you said you've hogtied him so well, then why would he escape? Or is that another failing of your organization? They didn't go through their scout training well enough.
You sure like to point fingers, but you know people in glass houses.
Well, I mean, by all means, throw the stone.
Well, I suppose. She keeps leaning back in her chair.
And Anna's just gonna like finish making the adjustments to her arm. Sit back in
Every
her.
once in a while, you get a glance from Triana, and she doesn't say anything.
As she's glancing, Anna's just gonna like let out a sigh. Be like, do you need paper and pencil so you can draw a picture?
No.
Because you seem to be interested in something. And if you aren't gonna say, you can at least have something to remember it by.
Oh, don't worry, I'll remember it.
Hmm.
So, as the year as a shift goes by, and their next rotation of Ari and Sphene comes by, the ship lands in Wolfspine, and that's what we'll pick up next session.